Well, everyone knows that game day is less than a week out, but did you also know that there has been a bunch of new technology brought into the game this year?
From following your favorite team to looking at stats for the game, you do not have to go to Arizona to enjoy the big game. So joining us now to tell us about game day technology is our tech expert, Nika Allen.
Nika, good to see you. So this is exciting here. So what kind of technologies are we talking about today?
We're talking about 3 different technologies, actually. We're talking about an app that came out, beacon technology, and wearable tracking devices.
Really?
Okay, cool. So first let's talk about the app.
So the NFL has actually made a huge push this year to really bring technology into the experience.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool, actually. And so they have a brand new app. It's actually called the Super Bowl Stadium app.
Okay.
And it came out of a partnership between the NFL and Verizon Wireless.
Okay.
And it really was made to enhance the stadium experience. It's going to have exclusive video content, commercials, and once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. But the kicker is that it's really only for people who are actually at the stadium.
Oh, interesting.
And the way that they determine that is by using these little tiny things called beacons, which I mentioned before, and they're placing them around the stadium to determine whether you're there or not.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about these beacons a little more.
So beacons are actually tiny sensors that use Bluetooth low energy to determine where you are in relation to the beacon.
Okay.
And so if you're in range or out of range, it can determine that.
Okay.
When you are in range, the beacon, as you can kind of see, communicates with different apps that use beacons. So, you know, they'll use the Super Bowl app to determine that you're here, and then you will be able to get different notifications and information that no one else will be able to receive because you're within range of those little beacons.
Gotcha. Okay.
And each of the beacons broadcasts its own signal, so you can actually be communicating basically with multiple beacons simultaneously. So they can have different ones around the stadium, maybe that mean a different thing, or maybe you'd get a prize, or I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but something cool. You know, if you hit this beacon or you walk by that one, and when you get in, maybe you'll get a special offer or something like that.
Really? Wow.
That is cool. Okay, now let's talk about wearable technology.
So the wearable tracking devices are actually RFID chips, and that stands for radio frequency identification.
Okay.
And so what they've done is they've placed these tiny little chips and they place them in the shoulder pads of all the NFL players to capture real-time information and statistics.
Whoa,
Really? So what kind of statistics are we talking about?
So we're talking about things like position, speed, distance traveled, things like that. So you can only imagine what you can really do with that kind of detailed information on the game.
Yeah.
And so actually this whole idea with the RFID chips was implemented in 17 different stadiums this year.
Okay.
Only in 2014 though. This is the first year that they've tried something like this. And so they'll be used to track players and even maybe some officials during the game this year.
Really?
Wow, that
so
is
this
so
is
cool.
for like gathering stats during the game.
Yeah,
So
real-time statistics. So
And these stats are going to be going to this app that you're talking about, so that we
These,
can see how.
I think that they are. I'm not totally positive what they're doing with the stats this time, but they're going to use it, you know, help make better calls, and they're just going to be collecting this information over time. If you think about it, the capabilities of doing something like this, they can create new games with, you know, just real-time information.
Yeah.
So from, you know, watching it on game day to the extension of a later life with all those deep statistics, basically.
Yeah.
It seems like this is something that they could use, you know, when it comes to refs making decisions.
Yeah,
too.
that too.
Like in
Exactly.
soccer, they started using the tennis technology to see if the ball actually crossed the line. This is, you know, new technology that's coming in sports. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
getting
it.
more and more
Sports
precise
technology.
with that.
They really
technology.
Yeah, the
are.
next thing they need is they just need tracking devices on the footballs to make sure they're not being taken from the locker room so you can let
Exactly.
out.
And check the PSI. Exactly.
Exactly.
You think if they could put it on the players, they could put one in the football to make sure it's, you know, not under 12 pounds like it should be. So,
Exactly. So
who
you'll
knows?
see that
But Tom
happening
Brady
with
wouldn't know anything about that. That's the
Yes.
deal. He had no idea. Anyway, enough with the New England Patriots jokes. Well, I'm sure we have some Patriots fans that absolutely hate us now. Anyway, guys, if you want more information on these apps to enjoy the big game, head over to casa.com. We'll have links to Nika TV. And Nika, thank you for bringing this information.
Yeah,
It's
pretty cool
fantastic.
stuff.
Yeah.